mama think that my mama told me I'm better than you. That's why I can't play with you. Oh, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please like, share to whatever handle you are connected to. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I don't know if you could put it on the TikTok. Subscribe and visit uptopbeauty.com for these super fly shades in beige. And you know we have a book club tote, because we've been reading with Uptown NayRobon. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, ooh. We are back with J. Randy Terribolele. Okay, we're doing a Michael Jackson book. What's it called? The Magic, the Madness, the Whole Story. 1958 to 2009. And listen, all you that like to come around here and be like, Nay, that's not how you pronounce it. Listen, if Terribolele can come to this channel and say, Nay, I don't mind how you pronounce my name. I'm just enjoying the read. Then who gives a about what you think? We call him over here Terribolele, and that's what he's going to be. Love you, Terribolele. In the 60s, Gary was a tough urban city, and the Jacksons' neighborhood was sometimes a dangerous place for youngsters. Catherine, a strong force in the lives of her children, passed on to them deep and abiding respect for certain religious convictions. She had been a Baptist and then a Lutheran, but turned from both faiths for the same reason. She discovered that the ministers were having extramarital affairs. When Michael was 5 years old, Catherine became a Jehovah's Witness, converted by a door-to-door work. Y'all know how I feel about the JWs, but right now the JWs in some smoke right now. But for real, I'm not just going to limit it to the J-Dubs because I, feel the closest to J-Dubs. But, every religion has that bullshit with them, Everyone, all right? The extramarital affairs, shit, that happens. It's not one religion that does not have bullshit, okay? And the things that are coming out with the JWs been happening with the Catholics. Okay, so we can't be like, when the Catholics been did it. And them niggas don't lose their job or nothing. Okay? They just move them. Okay? When Michael was 5 years old, Catherine became a Jehovah's Witness, converted by a door-to-door worker. In the strictest sense of the teachings, Jehovah's Witnesses considered themselves the sheep. Everybody else is a goat. When the great battle of Armageddon is fought, it was expected in 1972 and then in 1975. All the goats will be destroyed at once, and then the sheep will be spared. The sheep will then be resurrected to a life on earth as subjects of the kingdom of God. They will be ruled by Christ and a select group of 144,000 witnesses who will reside in heaven by Christ's side. At the end of 1,000 years, Satan will come forth to tempt those on earth. Those who succumb to his wiles will be immediately destroyed. The rest will live idyllically. Of course, as with those who adhere to religious beliefs, some witnesses are more adamant about their teachings than others. Every day for at least 3 hours, the boys would rehearse whether they wanted to do so or not, with Joseph's only thought being to get his family out of Gary. When I found out that my kids were interested in becoming entertainers, I really went to work with them. Joseph Jackson would tell time. When the other kids would be out on the street playing games, my boys were in the house working, trying to learn how to be something in life. Though the Jacksons' music may have brought them closer together as a family unit, it also served to further alienate them from everyone else in the neighborhood. Already, people thought we were strange because of our religion. Jackie would remember. Now they were sure of it. They'd say, yeah, look at those Jacksons. They think there's something special. Everyone else used to hang out on the corners and sing with their groups, but we weren't allowed to. We had to practice at home, so the other kids thought we were too good to sing with on the corner. Rehearsals were still held twice a day, before school and after, even though their peers in the neighborhood thought the Jacksons were wasting their time. As they practiced, voices from outside would taunt them through open windows. You ain't nothing, you Jacksons. Rocks would be hurled into the living room. It didn't matter to the Jacksons. They ignored the taunts and focused on their practice sessions. Parents, y'all can set y'all babies up by keeping your kids in the house. Don't go outside with them ninjas. They bad, but sometimes that stuff can reverse on you. It's like when they go out in the world at school, you can't protect them. And you then made your child believe that they were better or different from the other children in the neighborhood. You thinking in your mind you're better. And it's always a child waiting in the wings to bong your ass to remind you you ain't no better. One thing I will say about Joseph Jackson was that he taught his boys how to fight. Okay, but if you got a parent that's not teaching you violence and aggression to protect yourself, then you just out there free falling.
My mama told me I'm better than you. That's why I can't play with you.
By 1962, 5-year-old Marlon had joined the group playing bongos and singing mostly off key. I didn't know this. Okay. I didn't notice that Marlon couldn't sing. By 1962, 5-year-old Marlon had joined the group playing bongos and singing mostly off-key. Marlon couldn't sing or dance, but he was allowed in the group anyway because Catherine would not have it any other way. Yeah, you're not about to single my baby out. He can hit them bongos. Not congos. But he can go over there and hit them congos or the cowbell. One day when the boys were practicing while Joseph was at work, Catherine watched as Michael, who was 4 years old, began imitating Jermaine as he sang a James Brown song. Virgos are a piece of work, okay? Virgos are really good about assuming someone else's character and making it their own. That's why I believe it was nothing for him to see someone perform and actually absorb their mood. When he saw Jermaine, and because Virgos can sometimes have a jealous nature, he was like, I could do that. I could do that better than him. You know, he's a young child, but he's doing this, I believe, unknowingly. He sees his brother performing James Brown, and now he wants to perform James Brown. Catherine watched as Michael, who was 4 years old, began imitating Jermaine as he sang a James Brown song. When Michael sang, his voice was so strong and pure. Catherine was surprised. As soon as Joseph got home, she met him at the door with some good news. I think we have another lead singer. Today, Michael often speaks about his abuse he suffered at the hands of his father. When he gave his controversial 2003 interview with Martin Bashir, quick tears came to his eyes when he remembered the way his dad treated him. It was bad, he said, of the beatings, real bad. Watching Michael as he took himself back to the days in Gary when his father hit him was truly painful. Clearly, all these years later, he is still traumatized by that part of his childhood. I don't really know what to say about the beatings. You know, I think every child during that time believes that they were hit the worst. But, you know, Jacksons, listen, all of us, especially if we was raised by a single mother, or if the father was in the house and he was a lunchbox. All of us got the shit beat out of us. You hear me? My mama would come home some days and be like, Nay, I told you to wash the mother unshe dishes. I'd be like, I did, mama. Why is this fucking fork in the sink? I didn't know that it was a fork in the sink. I mean, and then next minute you know there was repercussions and constitutions following it because it was a fork in the sink. Maybe my sister wasn't paying attention. She ate something and just threw the fork in the sink and I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But it was rough, especially for black families. Black families choose violence to teach their kids. Not all of us, but those that do, baby, violence is how you communicate your disdain with someone. And sometimes some of us would come home and we wait a minute, Ma, hello, hi, Mama, how you been? And she done already, you know, smacked me in the face 3 times for some bullshit that I don't even know what the hell is happening, okay? But that's because black families deal with a lot of misplaced anger. In a way, I want to feel sorry for the Jacksons dealing with their father's anger, but, you know, it's just what happens. Michael was always precocious. His mother has recalled that at the age of 1.5 years, he would hold his bottle and dance to the rhythm of the washing machine. Michael was too sensitive a boy to be manhandled the way he was by his father. He was also quick on his feet and determined to avoid an altercation with Joseph. Tito remembered that Michael was so quick that if my mother or father used to swing at him, he'd be out of their way. They'd be swinging at the air. Pause. Tito said that if my mother or father swung at him, let's think about that right quick. So it wasn't like Joseph was the only disciplinarian in the family. Catherine, probably only a smidgen in comparison to Joe, but Catherine, she was a disciplinarian at times also. This is what Tito said. This ain't what I said or what I'm assuming. This is what Tito said. Because sometimes you got to read into shit. When Catherine would swing or when Joseph would swing, Catherine ain't just sitting there. She ain't just like, oh, Joseph, don't hit that, baby. If she feels that Michael needs to be disciplined in that moment, she gonna swing at his ass too. It was just Michael was quick. Joseph believed in the value and impact of brute force as a disciplinary tool. Either you're a winner in this life or a loser, he'd like to say. And none of my kids are gonna be losers. To be sure of that, he would smack his kids without giving it a second thought in order to keep them on the right track to being winners. Shoving them into walls was not unusual behavior for him, especially the boys. Michael, however, was the one boy in the family who would attempt to fight back when provoked by his father. Once, when he was just 3, Joseph spanked him for something he had done. Crying, Michael then took off one of his shoes and hurled it at his father. Joseph ducked. The shoe missed him. Are you crazy? Joseph screamed at him. Boy, you just signed your own death warrant. Get over here. Infuriated, Joseph grabbed Michael and, according to Marlon, held him upside down by one leg and pummeled him over and over again with his hand, hitting him on his back and buttocks. Soon Michael was crying and screaming so loudly it seemed as if he was trying to summon the entire neighborhood. All right, I done pissed my daddy off one time, child. But I mean, shit, what happened was I was over there on Capitol Hill with my grandmammy back when Capitol Hill, Northeast DC, was black. Okay? That shit is anti-black now. Okay? Those of you who still have your property over there on Capitol Hill, Jesus is protecting you. Okay? Because they're going to find every way to get a nigga out of there. Yeah, so, I mean, one time, me and my stepbrother was out playing skeet. Okay, it was Skeet and me. We playing down the street close to the Hole in the Wall down there. The store called the Hole in the Wall. Okay, and my grandmama called me, and I pretended like I didn't hear. Okay, it started getting dark. You know, goddamn well, back in the 70s when it started getting dark, bitch, you need to have your ass in the house. But I was having too much fun. My friends, they were right outside of their family houses so their family could see them. And I was playing with my friends. Me and Skeet was playing with our friends. Okay? Child, the parents called their kids in the house. Me and Skeet, we decide then to go back in the house. It's dark. When I tell you my father grabbed me and my stepbrother by the ankles and tore our asses up, it was like I wasn't even mad at him because I knew what I had done wrong. The lights is off, bitch. You know better. In truth, Catherine had also been the target of Joseph's fury. You say that you love